Get your mic just shake it down.
I'm gonna need it too.
Okay, for a short
And I
people.
will leave it up there.
Okay.
That's all the people might write in.
How'd you know I was going to talk about height? We all know, living in Deacon Creek, aging isn't for sissies. And we all know that laughter is absolutely the best medicine. Do you remember going to the doctor as a child and they always had this chart that had height and weight? Well, I just had, like many of us in here, I just had my knee replaced. And thank goodness they have pipes for us now. And they measured my height, and it's the first time in years I've had my height measured. I found out I shrunk another 2 inches, so I'm 3 inches shorter than I was when I was in high school. And I personally think that's mean and cruel, because I knew I had 10 pounds to lose, and now it's 20, and I do have an announcement to make. I am going to be a great-grandmother in October. I didn't realize in today's society how important the name is that you pick. Now, it used to be Grandma and Grandpa, and that was fine, or you had a cultural name. I chose not to be Bubby because I'm not a Bubby type. So, but for the most part, people are concerned that the name is going to make them sound too old. So, and I'm going to start with an apology. If I use anybody's name that they're currently using, I apologize. My daughter will stop anybody that looks like a grandparent to find out what their name is, and how they pick their name. We're in a restaurant in Nashville, and she stops this couple, and they're with their twin grandsons. And she asks them how they picked their name and how excited she was. Well, they're Lolly and Pop. So you got Lolly and Pop. So she thought it was cute, but she goes to her husband, and he goes, not a chance in hell. Then I looked up other names, because I thought this was very intriguing. Graham Cracker. Graham Cracker is a grandmother's name because she's known for her snacks. Would any grandfather want his name to be Grumpy for the rest of his life? Grand Dude. And then, do you remember when all these corporations were changing their names from Kentucky Fried Chicken to KFC? Well, they shortened Grandma and Grandpa to G for Grandma and P for Grandpa. And then the one you can find the jewelry for and all the accessories for is Glamma. Okay, isn't this supposed to be about the child and not your name? G-Dog for grandfather. G-Money for the grandmother who always has money to hand and I would not want to be the wife of this couple. Big Mama and Slim. Now, I personally think we should take superhero names because we are very deserving. Now, for the most part, I would think the children make up the grandkids and great-grandchildren make up the name because it's what they hear or what they see. I have a friend who wears cowboy boots all the time. And I can remember we did a 60-mile breast cancer walk together. Her husband met her 2 miles before the finish line so she could cross in her cowboy boots. And her grandchildren call her Grandma Boots. Now, because we live in Deacon Creek, repeat after me. You might be getting old if.
You might be getting old if.
Okay, you'll be asked to repeat that. I found a year ago, we had a family gathering. I have 3 daughters. It's really disturbing to realize that you're old enough that all your daughters are talking about is their menopause symptoms. You might be getting old if you're talking more about your health than you ever did in your life. You might be getting old if you're suddenly seeing the side effects of gravity when you look in the mirror. You might be getting old if The hair stops growing where it's supposed to and starts growing where it isn't supposed to.
You might be getting old if.
You sleep better in the recliner than you do in your bed. You
Might be getting old if.
You dress up and you realize you don't have any shoes to go with the dress because heels are out of the question. You
might be getting old if.
The music today is so awful, and please do our songs from our era, it's much better.
You might be getting old if.
Computers and programs are just too hard to understand and navigate.
You
You
might be getting old if.
Afternoon naps are a requirement.
Oh, yes.
You
might be getting old if.
Medicine, I'm sorry, I can't be the only one. I cannot open medicine with a childproof cap. And I just got home with a prescription. I had to use a hammer and chop through the top. I found this poem that I thought was very apropos. An ode to old age. There's quite an art to falling apart. And life doesn't begin at 60, that's a big fat lie. My hair is getting thinner, my body is not. The few teeth I have are beginning to rot. I smell a Vicks VapoRub, not Chanel No. 5. My new pacemaker is all that's keeping me alive. When asked of my past, every detail I know. But what was I doing 10 minutes ago? Well, you get the idea. What more can I say? I'm off to read the obituary like I do every day. If my name's not there, I once again start perfecting the art of falling apart. You don't stop laughing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop laughing.
I told you to enjoy that. It's